Hello. I hope you can hear me. If the music is too loud, please just leave me a comment. Just waiting for a couple of minutes in case anyone's going to join us. So we'll start exactly at 6. Alrighty, I think we can get started. Yay! So welcome to today's restorative yoga session and Dapwa. And we have a really nice flow planned for today. A lot of focus on opening up through the chest and through the shoulders, getting some nice movement along the spine, and just working to sort of stretch out the neck, this whole upper body area that might be feeling kind of tight, kind of tense. And it's going to be a really nice, gentle class. So to get ready, make sure if you've got blocks, that's great. Otherwise, you can always grab throw cushions or even pillows from your bed to just help keep you nice and comfy during the class. And if you want to get anything like a glass of water, maybe light some incense like I try to do to make it a little bit fancy, then you're welcome to always pause the video at any point. As usual, With restorative poses, we're trying to hold postures for a little bit longer. Often when the body goes into a position that's uncomfortable, the first instinct is for all the muscles to sort of tense up to try and protect you from getting injured, so it's a really good response. But with restorative yoga, we try to stay in poses a little bit longer to give the body time to realize, okay, this is not an injury situation, allow the muscles to relax, and then allow the pose to get into like those little tendons and the tissues. So really getting bang for your buck by holding positions for a couple of minutes to even 5 minutes. So if you have any injuries, just be aware as you practice. If something doesn't feel right, you can just come out of the pose, or you can let me know in a comment and I can give you a variation. But otherwise, if you're ready to go, we're going to start standing today. Actually, no, we're not going to start standing because then nobody will be able to see me. So we're going to start sitting today. So you can sit in any comfortable position, if that's legs sort of loosely crossed. If you want to take a bit more of an intense position, you can do like a half lotus. Remembering you can always sit up on a pillow or on a block. If the lower back is feeling a little bit tight, it just helps you to sit up nice and tall, sit up nice and straight. So from here, letting your hands just rest on your knees, and maybe the eyes fall closed. As we start to deepen the breath here. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Maybe bringing your hand to your belly so that with every inhale you feel the belly pressing into your hand. And as you exhale, maybe engaging just a little bit so that the belly button is pulling towards the spine. Inhaling so much that the belly starts to push out. Exhaling, gently engaging to help you really empty out the lungs so you make lots of space for nice fresh air. So we're not going to time. Today I think it would be good if all we focus on is keeping our breath nice and slow. So inhaling for as long as you can, really trying to fill the lungs up. And exhaling, really trying to get everything out of the lungs. And keeping them nice and deep. And yeah, just remembering your breath. I think that's more than enough to be on your mind. If you have an intention that you'd like to set for practice, obviously you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, just settling into this moment, preparing for the next hour or so, to just be really focused in on how the body feels, what the body needs. Trying, if you can, to just gently put aside in your mind anything that happened before our practice, whatever maybe came after or is coming up afterwards. And just trying to find that little, almost like you're in the eye of the storm. So before things start getting hectic, just finding that little quiet spot. So taking 5 more breaths here. Every inhale, feeling the rib cage expanding all sides, so growing out through the sides and also front and back. Keeping our shoulders nice and heavy, so your shoulder blades sliding down your back. And we'll start just dropping the chin, so dropping the chin to the chest, keeping the rest of the spine nice and straight, just letting the front of your head be really heavy. And starting to feel that stretch, maybe down the neck, maybe all the way between the shoulder blades. Just seeing how that feels. Maybe the neck is feeling quite tight, so maybe this is already a little bit intense. Remember, you can always adjust, so bring the head up slightly if it's too intense or if you're feeling any pain. So as you inhale, even though the head is down, still thinking of growing tall with the spine. So the spine from the shoulders down is still reaching up like a straight tree trunk. And as you exhale, maybe you even just think about letting your head be a little bit heavier. Rolling over onto your left side now, so your left ear comes over your left shoulder. Making this movement nice and small, especially if the neck is tight, taking it nice and slow. Starting to feel that stretch down the side of the neck into the right shoulder. Checking the right shoulder isn't rising up to meet the neck. Trying to keep both shoulders nice and low, nice and level. Maybe extending the right fingertips to the mat beside you. And feeling that stretch extend all the way down the inner arm. Maybe feeling a little subtle sensation in the fingertips. Releasing the center. And coming over to the right side now. So keeping the left shoulder nice and low. And extending left fingertips out to touch the mat, the floor next to you. And roll through center. Taking a couple of breaths here again. Back up. I'll take just a gentle looking up. So not trying to look all the way up to the ceiling. Maybe just looking sort of up to the corner where the ceiling touches the wall. Just finding a gentle stretch through the throat, front of the neck, and coming back nice and slow. We'll take a gentle twist, so inhaling to bring our arms up. And taking a moment here, really stretching arms up, 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 up. Can't see my fingertips, but they're reaching up for the sky. And turning over to your left side, so your left hand comes to rest behind you for support. Right hand comes to the left knee. And we're twisting over to the left side, so hips are staying nice and thinking of just rotating the rib cage. So if you think of the spine almost like a cloth that you're trying to wring out, if you're trying to think of that twisting motion, you're just twisting the rib cage around the pelvis here. Keeping this twist nice and small, so you don't have to look all the way behind you. Just look over to your side. One more breath here, inhaling, growing a little bit taller. As you exhale, maybe find space to rotate a little bit more. And releasing our twist. Planting the left hand on the mat beside you. And then inhaling, just sweep the right arm up and over. So starting to bend your left arm, maybe coming down to the forearm if that feels comfortable. This is a great place for a block or for a cushion or anything to bring the ground up to you. Again, the hips staying nice and heavy, so you don't want to start swaying over to the side. So making this bend as small so you can keep it up here, or as intense as you feel the body needs today. No problem if the body just wants to be here. It's a great place to be. Taking a few more breaths here. Remembering if the chest wants to start collapsing and rotating down, just thinking about opening the chest so maybe the gaze goes up to that corner again. Holding there for 2 more breaths. And slowly we're going to come up, releasing left, right arm to the ground, sitting up nice and tall. Just taking a moment, seeing if the body feels a little bit different. Maybe the spine is feeling a little bit of energy flowing up and down. Maybe feeling a little bit of stretching and sensation, opening of the right side. Maybe not. But we'll take it to the other side now. So inhaling to bring arms up. Exhaling, turning over to our right side now. So the right hand comes behind. For support, left hand resting on the knee. So inhaling, growing nice and tall, keeping hips nice and heavy. As you exhale, thinking of rotating the ribs. See how this side feels compared to the other side. Often there's a difference, so this side is feeling a little bit tighter today, so I'm going to make my movement a little smaller. Taking 2 more breaths here. Bird just flew into my window and then flew out again. And releasing, coming back to center nice and slow. Placing our right hand on the mat beside us. Inhaling to sweep the left arm up and over. So here again, playing with the angle. Maybe you want to stay up or coming down onto the sitting bones with both bum cheeks firmly on the floor or on the cushion. Taking the gaze slightly up just so that we keep the chest nice and open. Left ribcage, here's all these tiny muscles getting a beautiful stretch. And we're coming back to center. Very nice. We'll come up onto all fours now. So our next posture or pose will be cat-cow, which is one of my favorites. It's so good for the spine and really quite a small movement. So I'll just make sure you can see what I'm doing for this. So keeping knees hip width apart. Remembering you can always check by putting 2 fists on your hips to really be stacked over your knees. Hands coming just underneath the shoulders. So you're in a nice neutral spine. Think of somebody put a tray on your back, you'd be able to back your head reaching towards the top of your mat. And as we inhale, dropping the belly, so arching the back, the gaze goes forward. And as you exhale, tucking the tailbone, rolling through the spine, the head comes down last. Pushing through the hands, the back is nice and broad, feeling a lot of space between here, between the shoulder blades. Inhaling to drop the belly, feeling the skin of the front body stretching a little bit, the muscles there. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone, rounding through the spine. So your face is pushing towards your hips, the front of your hips. The cat pose. Inhaling, coming into cow. Maybe bending elbows slightly. Exhaling. See if you can make this movement really slow. Really feel each vertebrae as it changes direction. We'll take 3 more rounds at your own pace. So you can even close your eyes. If that helps, focus on the sensation. And coming back to a nice neutral spine. Maybe sitting back a little bit, just rotating through the wrists. If the wrists are starting to feel a little bit tired, we'll actually do a little bit of a toe stretch now. So staying in our all fours, you're just gonna maybe lean back to help your feet, all my words are left me, help your toes be nice and tucked. So you can even maybe a little bit just to help you get onto the toes and lower the knees back down. So it doesn't matter if all of the toes are touching. Play. Just as long as you're feeling a stretch through the feet. And then starting with our hands still on the mat, we're just going to rotate our fingers out to the sides of the mat. So if your hands are usually facing this way, you're just going to rotate your hands out this way. Just getting a little bit of movement for the wrist while we stretch out the feet. Some multitasking here. Remembering you can always change the angles, you can always come up slightly to lessen the pressure on the feet. Now turning the fingertips around to face you if you can. You don't come all the way around, just go and this feels comfortable. So if you lean back, you're going to intensify the stretch on the wrist. So just being aware of how the body feels. Leaning back sort of intensifies the feet and the hands. And now turning your hands with the top of your hand, your palms facing up to you. Just taking a little moment here to stretch the top of the arm as well. Here, leaning back, I can't do it, so I'm just going to stay up here. Maybe move slightly back. And then coming onto your hands. Maybe coming up to kneel, just so that you can make some gentle circles with the wrists. Maybe make some little circles with the ankles. Pointing and flexing the feet. Very nice. So our next pose will be Sphinx. So we're just doing a nice gentle back bend. So this is a good one to have a cushion or even two, just to help you be supported in this pose. So from all fours, you're just coming to lie down on your belly, nice and comfy. And then from here, checking to make sure elbows, too many cushions. Who knew that that was a problem? Your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Your feet, you're on the top of your feet, so your feet are nice and flat. Elbows underneath the shoulders, and the hands are in line with the elbows. So you don't want your hands coming together like this or spreading out like this. Your arms, your forearms are almost like train tracks. So nice and straight, nice and parallel. So if this is feeling like a lot for the lower back, if you're feeling any sort of crunching sensation, remembering you can always, one day I'll find a space that is long enough for my limbs. Remember, you can always walk your hands forward to make the stretch a little bit less intense. I'm just going to bend my legs so I can show you what that looks like. So if this is full Sphinx, remember you can always walk arms forward, and that brings you lower down to the ground. And then also sliding a pillow just underneath the ribs can also give you a bit of support. So finding whatever feels good for you. I'm going to stay in this assisted Sphinx with my couch. And just letting the head be heavy, that feels okay. Otherwise, you can keep your gaze just to the front of your mat. And we'll hold here for about 1.5 minutes. So really taking this time to come back to the breath as you inhale, feeling the belly pressing into the mat. And as you exhale, feeling the body nice and supported, the ground, getting some support from any props you may be using. If you're dangling your head, then enjoying that beautiful stretch down the back of the neck, spine between the shoulder blades. Take 10 more breaths here, so making any adjustments, you can come out of the pose a bit more, or you can just lie down flat if you've just had enough. Otherwise, we're here for another couple seconds. Maybe closing your eyes and really scanning through the spine, seeing how this feels. Just being aware of the messages that the body is sending to the brain, and then making any adjustments. Maybe finding forward slightly, maybe finding you have a bit more space. You can feel free to bring elbows close, just as long as they're underneath your shoulders and not further back than that. Taking 2 more breaths here. And slowly shifting any props out of the way if you're using them. Just coming to lie flat on the mat. Just putting one hand on top of the other. So you get a nice little pillow for your head. And letting the feet be nice and wide. And then letting the heels fall inward and toes go outwards. Almost like you're in like a second position, like in a ballet position, but very relaxed. This is called crocodile. It's a really nice resting pose, especially when you've been doing any back bends or any chest heart opening movement. Maybe just moving the bum from side to side really slowly, if that feels good for the lower back. So just checking out how it feels. And now moving into a little bit of stretching for the shoulders and the arms. So we'll go into shoulder stretch. So staying lying down, right arm out to the side. So just extend it out to the side, palm on the ground. And then letting your head rest on the mat. You're going to place your left hand underneath your left shoulder, bending the left leg, and then slowly using this left hand to help you push over, so you're rolling over onto your right side. This left foot may be coming to touch the ground behind you, maybe not. You can always have a pillow here. You can stay all the way up here if that feels good. Starting to see how this opens up the shoulder, opens up the side of the chest. Remembering to keep your palm flat on the ground. So if the lower back is feeling a little bit unhappy, if you go all the way back, remembering you can just come to lie on your side, somewhere like this, or even like this. So a slightly more active pose, since we're using this hand to help us open up the shoulder. It's still a nice place to capture the breath once more. Since we're lying down, the body isn't working too hard. So just inhaling, filling the belly once again. Exhaling, feeling the belly button coming in towards the spine. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And slowly belly. bringing the right hand back in, taking a moment in our crocodile pose, so heels coming in, toes pointing out. Maybe resting the other cheek on the top of your hand. So if you were facing the left before, maybe turning over to the other side. And preparing for a stretch on the other side. So now extending our left. Remembering you can always keep the arm, just playing around with this angle. If your shoulder's feeling a little bit uncomfortable, or feeling a little bit tight, bringing the arm slightly, the hand slightly down can help alleviate some of the intensity of the stretch. So now from here, planting the right hand underneath the right shoulder, bending the right foot, and this time using your right hand to push you over onto your left side, so rolling onto the other shoulder. Letting your head rest on the mat. Remembering to keep the left palm on the ground, so palm facing down. Staying nice and safe, even as we move into a slightly more intense stretch. Remembering you can always alter the stretch, take any of the adjustments that we went through on the right side. Taking 5 more breaths here. Coming out of the pose if you're ready to. And slowly coming to roll onto the front once again. Gently bringing the left hand back in. And just taking a moment here to rest. And then slowly coming up, back onto all fours. And then from here, just bringing big toes together, taking knees nice and wide, and sinking hips back. So first we're going to keep arms nice and active, so coming up onto our fingertips, reaching hands forward as we sink the hips back. So finding some opening here for the underarm and the muscles of the traps. Seeing if you can let the hips sink all the way back, keeping hands active. One more breath. And as you exhale, letting arms be heavy, letting fingers be nice and relaxed, and letting the head come to rest on a pillow or on the top or on the mat. If your forehead is resting on a slightly firmer surface, maybe just rocking head from Taking 10 more breaths here. So making any adjustments you need to stay nice and still and comfortable as we close this posture. As you inhale, maybe feeling your belly pressing against the inner thighs as the lungs fill up like balloons. And as you exhale, maybe it creates a little bit of space for you to sink a little bit deeper. Taking 2 more breaths. And slowly walking the hands back towards you. Taking a moment just to see how the spine feels here. Just keeping an eye on the time. From here, stepping your right foot to the front of the mat. So you're in a nice lunge position, keeping the top of your left foot pressing onto the ground, and making your lunge as big or small as you feel comfortable. So maybe you shift the knee back slightly. Wherever you are, bringing the hands to the thighs just to help you come up slightly, to give you a little bit of support. And once you're feeling that support and you feel like you have a little bit of openness, especially through this front left hip, think about sinking hips forward and down. So trying to keep upright, so you don't necessarily want to come down to here. You're going to keep the spine nice and long as you sink down into a nice lunge, nice low lunge. Hold here just for 5 breaths. You can even rest the hands on your bent leg here, or rest one hand on the mat for a bit of balance and support. Maybe closing the eyes for the last couple of breaths. Really focusing on the areas that might feel a little bit tense. With every exhale, maybe just thinking of releasing those muscles. And then slowly coming back and back and back. Pulling the toes of the right foot towards the face. So that now we've got a beautiful stretch coming up the back of the foot, the calf, the back of the thigh. Maybe feeling it all the way in the bum. So again, you can always use something to bring the ground up towards you a little bit, so like pillows stacked on each other, or a block. But again, try to keep the spine straight down over the leg, but keeping the top of the head reaching forward. Holding here for just 2 more breaths. And coming back rolling back onto the right foot, so we're back in our lunge. Bringing both hands down to the mat, just to give you a bit of support. Walking your right foot maybe just to the edge of the mat. And using your left hand for support, you're going to bring your right hand into the inside of your bent knee, and that's just going to help you open it out to the side. So I'll turn around so you can see what it looks like from the front. So I've shifted my foot slightly out to the side, and then just opening this hip out to the side. So you want to roll onto the inside edge of your bent leg of this foot. So using your hand to just gently guide the knee out to the side. It doesn't have to go out all the way. So if just a little gentle opening already feels good. If you feel like you would like a little bit more, you can start to take your gaze over to the right as well. So starting to bring the left leg into play here. And slowly coming back to center. So back into our low lunge. And then bringing our right foot to the left side of the mat here. We're preparing for pigeon pose. Letting the right knee fall down. And coming into your pigeon, so bringing the right foot a little bit closer to the groin. Just to make it a little bit more comfortable. Coming down to the forearms. And you can stay here, but if it's available to you and you feel like you have support, you can come down to rest the forehead on the mat. Remembering that this is a really great one to use props. So I'll just show you with my left leg. Then sliding a pillow or a block just underneath the bent hip can give some nice support so you can really relax into this pose. So staying here for a couple of minutes, so make sure it's not too intense. You're not starting from a really intense position. You can always take it a little bit further as you create space by holding the pose. Maybe letting the eyes fall closed. So you can really focus on the sensation, that feeling in the outside of the right thigh, the outside of the right hip, the front of the left hip as well, getting beautiful stretch as you extend your left leg far behind you. Remembering that we're in a passive position, so you shouldn't feel any of your muscles feeling tense, trying to hold you up and hold you in position. So the glutes are nice and relaxed, the legs are nice and relaxed. If you're on your forearms, you have a little bit of engagement in the arms, but the lower body should be nice and soft here. Taking 10 more breaths on the side, just making any adjustments, making it more or less intense if you'd like to, or even coming out of the pose if you've had enough. Taking 2 more breaths here. And slowly coming up onto the forearms, and then up onto the hands. So just lifting up the bum enough so that you can slide your right knee back. So we're on all fours once again. Maybe lifting up the right knee, just making some small circles here. Just getting some circulation back into the legs and changing directions. And coming back to all fours. Beautiful. Now stepping the left foot forward to the front of the mat. So checking in to see how intense you want the stretch to be. And then coming up onto the bent thighs, so just resting your hands there for support. Remember, you can always keep one or both hands down for a little bit of support, otherwise coming up nice and tall. And then from here, just sinking hips forward and down, trying to keep the spine nice and upright as you do. So intensifying the stretch in the front of the right hip. If your knee starts to get a little bit uncomfortable, if you're on a really hard surface, you can always double up your mat. So you've got a little bit of support, a little bit of cushion for the knees. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Remember, you can always come up if it feels a little bit too intense. Just making sure our knee doesn't go past our ankles where we start getting into injury zone. Taking 2 more breaths. And then slowly reaching hips back, back, back. Starting to come onto the heel of our left foot. So we're in a nice hamstring and calf stretch. So think of your left toes pulling towards your face, so that you really get the most out of the stretch for the back of the leg. So staying up on your fingertips, or even using a block or a stack of pillows to maybe raise the ground up towards you, help you keep your spine nice and straight. And coming back onto front foot, so we're in our lunge again. Taking a moment before we go into pigeon pose, just walk the left foot a little bit further out towards the side of the mat, placing your right hand nice and secure on the ground, and using the left hand to just open the knee out gently to the side, rolling onto the splayed edge of your left foot. So using the hand to just gently guide. If you're feeling any pain coming out of the pose slightly or completely, if you'd like a little bit more, starting to take your gaze over your left shoulder. Feeling stretch through the right side of the body now as you add this twist. Taking 1 more breath here. Coming back to center. Coming onto the flat of your foot. And then shuffling our left foot over to the right side of the mat. There's lots of directions in today's sequence. Letting the left knee fall down. And bringing the left foot in as close to the groin as you need to. So that once again, we're in our pigeon pose. Remembering sliding anything underneath the bent hip can be a nice support, especially if one side is feeling tighter than the other. And coming down onto your forearms, or if it's available, coming down all the way onto the forehead. So you can always stack your hands and place your forehead on top of your hand. We'll hold here for a couple of minutes again, so making sure you're not at full capacity of intensity here. Just maybe 50%. Coming back to the breath, inhaling and feeling the belly pressing against the bent leg. Exhaling, maybe finding a little space to sink a little deeper and release your left hip. Any of the muscles there, maybe trying to just keep tense. Taking 10 more breaths here, so making any adjustments. Taking 2 more breaths. And then slowly coming back up onto the forearms, onto the hands, and lifting the hips so that you can slide the left knee back. Making some circles, some small circles with the hip, with the knee, I mean, just to get circulation back into the hips. Really feeling that tingling, feeling that energy that comes from that stretch, from holding the position. I'm just going to waggle our thumbs from side to side because it feels very nice from back. And before we come to lie on our backs, we'll just do a little bit more opening for the chest. So we'll come into heart melting pose. So from our from our all fours, just coming down onto the forearms. Remembering again that feeling of forearms being train tracks, so nice and straight, nice and parallel. And maybe this already feels like enough. Or if you'd like a little bit more opening, remembering to keep the hips stacked over the knees as you do this, walking the hands slightly forward so that the heart starts to melt down towards the mat. So it doesn't have to touch by any means. It's more important that you keep the hips nice and stable where they are, and if you're not feeling any pain in the spine or in the shoulders, because this is also quite an intense one for shoulders. Letting your head rest on the mat. We'll take 5 more breaths here, so adjusting, you can always make it a little bit less intense if you'd like. And slowly walking forearms back towards you. And staying nice and low, we're just going to go all the way to your nice child's pose, so the legs closer together this time to give you a little shelf to rest on. And just letting the head be heavy. You can let arms rest by your side if that feels good. You can sweep arms behind you so your hands are next to your feet. Just whatever feels comfortable here so that you can release the whole weight of the head and really feel a little bit of stretch along the spine. slowly coming up, hands back on the mat so you can just gently push yourself up. And from here, just shifting hips over to one side so that you can swing the legs around. And just scooting forward on your mat slightly, just so that you can come to lie down. Take our final pose before Shavasana, or resting pose. Finding a gentle twist, so extending both arms out to the side, your palms facing up. And we'll start by just letting the legs fall over, the knees fall over to the left side. So taking any variation of a reclined twist that feels good. You may want to keep one leg and just come into a half reclined twist. You may want to stack the knees or not, whatever feels good for the lower back especially. And if you're comfortable here, taking your gaze over your right shoulder, checking in with our breath again. You inhale, maybe feeling how this twist makes the belly stretch a little bit and adjust as you're in this gentle twist, massaging the internal organs. Taking 5 more breaths on this side. And slowly bringing head back to center, bringing knees back to center. Gently hugging knees into chest, just so you can really feel your whole spine on the mat, maybe rocking gently from side to side. And releasing feet back down, extending the arms once again. And now letting the knees fall over to the right. So taking the twist on the other side, and maybe taking your gaze over your left shoulder this time. Taking 5 more breaths on this side. And bringing head back to center, bringing the knees back to center, hugging the knees into chest one more time, maybe rocking gently from side to side, giving the back a little massage if it feels good. And then bringing feet down as we prepare for Shavasana or corpse pose. Bringing the hands out by your sides, palms facing up. You can extend feet long to the end of the mat. If the lower back feels like it would like a little bit more support, you can always keep the legs bent, taking the feet as wide as your mat and letting the knees just fall together. And a nice supported constructive rest. Wherever you are, letting your eyes fall closed. Being aware of all the parts of the back body that are supported by the mat right now, so the back of the head, back of the shoulders, the back of the arms and hands, shoulder blades, middle back, lower back, bum, maybe the back of the legs if your legs are stretched out, the back of the feet, or the soles of the feet. As you scan the body gently, just feeling that support, allowing you to completely relax, letting your breath come back to its natural rhythm, and maybe letting the mind drift now. As we come into Shavasana, slowly bringing your awareness into whatever space you're in, gently wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe reaching arms up above for a nice full body stretch. And then rolling onto whatever side feels good. Just bringing the knees up, resting the head on the arm. Just for a nice little supported moment before we come back into this world. And keeping eyes closed if you can, pushing up to a nice comfortable seat. Bringing palms together in front of the chest. So really letting the thumbs press into this heart space. And take a moment just to thank yourself for carving out this time to create a little space in the body and create a little space in the mind, in the spirit. And just taking this time for restoration. It's not always easy, but you made it. So taking a moment to thank yourself. Thank you for joining me in practice this evening. Namaste. Thanks so much. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Drink lots of water. And we'll see you next time.